Hello, you amazing ladies and gentlemen across the world. Welcome to our Boss Ladies Summit for beautiful May 2022. Can we all give a big wave and a big round of applause to our wonderful viewers across the world? Just want to say a big thank you and welcome. Now, it is Mother's Day in Australia, so I just want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Mothers to be, happy Mother's Days to your mothers, and just want to say a big thank you to everyone. And just want to say a big thank you as well. This is our first time using the StreamYard platform to do these lives, and you should be seeing this on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and even YouTube. So I just want to say a big thank you for joining us. Now, as you join in, please leave comments, smash that like, smash that share. I'm just so honored to be with our legendary panelists. We've got amazing Eileen, if we can wave to Eileen. We've got Loretta Remy, I love Loretta Remy. You've got awesome Simone Louise, who, as I always say about Simone Louise, she can punch through a brick wall. I call her the Terminator. We've got Master Coach Sonia, who has she has the luck of a cat. She's at a casino hotel having a time of her life. And we've got legendary corporate and safety expert Marianne Hines. And just want to say a big welcome to all your winners. Now, we're talking about Mother's Day. And without further ado, we're going to launch straight into it. And Kemi Adekumbi is here saying Happy Mother's Day. So what I'm going to be doing with our legendary panelists is we're going to go through a stack of great discussion points and leave comments. I can actually read your comments using StreamYard. Margaret King, great seeing you. So people are already tuning in. And hello from Chicago. We've got people from across the world. So without further ado, I actually want to start with Master Coach Sonia. Master Coach Sonia is at a casino, and she's had such incredible luck. I'm definitely going to open with her. So Master Coach Sonia, how are you, my friend? How is your gaming going? I hope you're winning big.
I am. I just came to this meeting, leaving a slot machine where I just finished winning $147 some odd cents, and I am stoked. I didn't want to leave, but you guys are definitely people that are I miss. I had to come see you.
Oh. Now, Master Coach Sonia, I'd love to ask you, what does Mother's Day mean to you?
Mother's Day is very sacred because as a mom myself, I have two children. My oldest is my daughter, and when she graduated high school, she basically divorced her mom, me, and a lot of my family. So I don't get to have that relationship with her, no matter how I've tried. And I'm a good mom, but then I have a son who is my hero. He served on a mission in the Philippines, met this wonderful his companion and his companion's sister down the road, connected with my son, and on March 26th this year, after so much that they went through, they got married in Las Vegas, and I have another daughter. So I am so touched to have that blessing in my life. And I have a stepdaughter too, she's amazing. She works for a big studio out of California doing like compositing work and animation, and so being a mom is a blessing that you can't take for granted, because you never know what might happen. But I think that's where I'll leave it. I'm very blessed.
Oh my God, what an opening. Can we give it up for Master Coach Sonia, and thank you for your rawness. Amazing. And I just want to tune in with our users. We've got Camilla from Sydney. We've got Florida. We've got Mary Davis. Happy Mother's Day. We've got Dubai. We're literally international, and there you go. And I actually want to bounce over to the amazing Loretta Remy. Loretta Remy is an amazing lady with powerful ideas. And Loretta, we're so honored to have you with us. And how is life in beautiful Florida?
I have to laugh because, again, it looks like we're about to have a storm here. But other than that, it's been quite warm, and we're getting ready for hurricane season, which is just a few weeks away. So, but as long as you're prepared, everything's good. Oh. So my thoughts on Mother's Day. I personally am not a mother. I'm a fur mom, I guess you would call it. I have two cats, and but growing up, I did not appreciate, I think, my mother as much until later in life for the struggles that she did as a single mom, raising us with, very little money and resources and everything. And she made the most of it. And I think through her determination and everything, I learned a lot about perseverance and hard work and work ethics and stuff like that. But teen years with mom were not very good. But I think that it made me learn to appreciate and love her even more when I got into my 20s, and we became like best of friends.
Wow. And what was on the number one lesson that your mother taught you, Loretta Remy?
I think probably the number one lesson would have been that you can do anything if you put your mind to it, and just, hard work and determination will get you through it.
Oh my God, incredible, Loretta. Round of applause to you, amazing Loretta. I want to bounce over to the incredible Simone Louise. And Simone, so honoured to have you with us. And how's life for you today? It's freezing in Sydney today, isn't it?
It is getting a lot colder, Ed, and I have just moved into a more regional location in the last few months. So I think I have a big learning curve this winter, moving off the coast where it barely really even gets cold. So yeah, it's been a nice morning so far. My kids have woke me up nice and early. My boys are young. I have 3 boys who are 6, 8, and 4. So it's been a mixture of morning of throwing presents at me and asking for breakfast at the same time.
I was going to ask you, what are some of your reactions and thoughts, Simone, and what does Mother's Day mean to you?
I think it's really interesting, isn't it? And it's such a personal experience for each person. I don't think it necessarily needs to be a mother per se that you can relate to Mother's Day about, but any woman who's been really influential in your life, whether you're growing up or even as a peer now, when you're surrounded by adults and just seeing how other people are turning up and how they are parenting and being a woman, then that's a lot to aspire to and take from, more of a role model as such than just, the biological mother. Yeah.
Wow. And I was going to ask you as well, what is the biggest lesson your mother taught you?
I've been thinking about this morning because I knew that the questions were going to come up. And I think it's interesting that it's perhaps not what she taught me, but what she displayed to me. Now, my mum is a really selfless woman, and I feel like that's a general stereotype of what a mother should be, that they're supposed to put everything first before anyone else. Their families always come first. But I think for my mum's situation, and I'm careful because she's my biggest fan, so I'm sure she's watching this on Facebook.
Yeah. So, hi, Simone Louise's mum. We love you, Simone Louise's mum.
I think it was somewhat to her detriment because she sacrificed her own well-being for her family. And that is something that I've learned from that and that I'm very strong about. And that's why my values on health and fitness are so prominent for myself, and trying to get that message across to people that it's okay to put yourself first, because she hasn't done that. And it really hasn't served her, to be honest. Yeah.
Wow. And I just have to compliment this. We're in Australia, and Australia, we know lockdowns. We've had more lockdowns than China, right? Literally, we have. And during the lockdown, Simone Louise got fitter, and I got completely fatter. So testament to you, Simone Louise. You are. That's why we call you the Terminator. There's a reason for that.
Thanks, Ed.
Oh, round of applause to Simone Louise. Amazing. And I just want to react before we hear from Marianne Hines, and also we've got wonderful Michael DeHaan with us. And can we give a big wave to Michael DeHaan? He's a great man into women's empowerment. I also want to give a shout out to all the men watching, that support women's empowerment. We absolutely love you. I always say the more men that step up to support women is the better off we're all going to be. So I just want to say a big welcome to you, absolute winners. And just a few reactions to the comments. We've got amazing Camilla with us. Camilla's from Sydney, and she goes, fun fact, we celebrate Mother's Day on the 26th of May in Poland, so I get to celebrate my mother twice. So we love you, Camilla. Sue Rumark says, I'm a mum and 2 grandma of 4 from Toronto. My kids say home is no matter where I live. There you go. That's just a beautiful. And we've also got Joseph Gonzalez says, women are sacred. I'm blessed for the women life. Here. And I think the more men that get behind women, the better. Now, Marianne Hines, we're so honoured to have you with us. How are you, Marianne? And what's happening in your world?
I'm fabulous. Oh, I'm getting fabulous, actually. I just had a week of the virus. It wasn't COVID, it was a virus. So, but I'm glad I could be here with you all today. What's happening in my world? Well, I'm here with you guys. I couldn't miss this one to celebrate all of the amazing women around the world. And Simone, a bit like you, I think Mother's Day or being a mother can look different for, does look different for people. And it doesn't, you could be a biological mum, a step mum, you could be a foster mum, you could be a Fairchild mum, which I'm also a Fairchild mum. And I think it's just really celebrating these amazing women, and particularly the women that have come before us. And it's because of them that we are where we are in the world. And I think it's just a really perfect opportunity to celebrate their being and all that they have done for us to provide for us, and so that we have the privileged lives that we have.
Oh, amazing. And just a quick mention, Karen has joined us. Can we all give a quick wave to Karen? We'll get to you shortly, Karen. We love you. Now, I was going to ask you, Marianne, and I love how you unpacked it, because to me, Mother's Day is far beyond you being a mother. And you have so many we have blended families, we've got stepmoms, we adopt people these days. I hate to say it, but I was actually abandoned by my mother at one point. So I've got a much darker view of this. I was going to ask you, Marianne, tell us a bit more about all these blended families and permutations and combinations. I guess motherhood is it's a much more wider concept these days, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think for me personally, I wasn't blessed with a biological child myself. However, I play a mother or an influencer. I love the word that you use, Simone, around influencer role, which is really about being that person I sort of wished I had through my, not so much my younger child years, because I had an amazing mother, still do, thankfully. But through those, when you'd left home and those times where I didn't have really that older female figure to sort of help guide me, or people that I could, really throw ideas around or talk about my concerns with. So I committed to being that person I wish I had. And I feel like that's my role that I play. I've got Mick's amazing daughter. She's just watching her grow. She's 22, watching her grow into just powerhouse woman that she is at 22. The wisdom she has at that age, I certainly did not have it. I took a few more decades to develop, but then I've got nieces as well, and I've got younger women that I mentor, and I feel like that's all the role of influencing. And women play a very powerful role in sort of carving out what the world's going to be in the future. So a big celebration to all of the women out there and the influencers that are really helping the younger generation become who they were meant to be, and to really step into their authenticity and be the powerhouses that they are.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. And if I don't mind, with wonderful Michael, and this is just a completely random question.
Put him on the spot.
While we've got you, Michael, representing half the planet, from a male's point of view, what do you think of Mother's Day representing half the planet?
It's a good question, Edward. And I really think, I go back to the analogy, it takes a village to raise a child. And it's very much around, with me, my aunts, my grandmother, so it's that whole collective. And I was fortunate to have a matriarchal society in my family, so I was blessed with that. And as I said, it takes a whole tribe to sort of raise a child, and I was fortunate to have that.
Yeah, and I think actually that's a really good point, because Mick's mother and auntie were amazingly strong women. So it's also acknowledging those that have passed, they're no longer with us. So, Mother's Day can be a really tough time for some people. So hearts and love out to everyone that doesn't have their mother with them on this earth, but they're always walking by your side as well.
Oh, here. And great point. I can't emphasize a lot enough. I know there's a lot of you watching, and you perhaps never had a mother. Your mother's no longer with us, but full love and regards to them, and just incredible. So Big round of applause. And great. And also just have to acknowledge Michael Dahan also is a handsome bald man like me. So there you go. So we're the two men representing half the planet. So there we go. So it's a pleasure. And we've got amazing, just a few. We're going to bounce over to legendary Karen Clark in just a moment and just want to acknowledge some of our users. Apologies if I can't read all your comments. I'm doing my best to stream you up, but we've got Susan Castelli from Ontario, Canada. Big welcome. And Sue Ramack, welcome. And I can't see all your comments, but just to let you know, if you are here, smash that like, leave a comment, leave that share, and make sure you connect with these powerful boss ladies. And Karen Clark, so honoured to have you with us. It was great seeing you in Brisbane on Friday. Please unmute and say hello, wonderful Karen. What are you thinking?
Hi, everyone. Hi, Ed. Yeah, it was wonderful to see you as usual in Brisbane. It was a wonderful meeting, wasn't it? Yeah, I love what everyone's saying. I especially agree with, the importance that a mother is, whether it's an earth mother, not necessarily of a human child, or whether she's an animal mother, like Annie would know about the importance of, the mother in that role, or whether it is a mother of a human child. My mum taught me, I think the biggest thing my mum taught me is not only values, however, she taught me to be independent. She made me feel that I could make the decisions myself, and I did, and that she was backing me, whatever I chose to do, and then I would be responsible for the consequences. So I think that was a super important lesson, was like, yeah, you can make your own decisions. However, whatever decision you make, you are responsible for the consequences. So I pretty much grew up with a lot of independence and learning to do a lot of things, also a lot of things that boys do, because as most of you probably know, my dad and mum backed it, taught me to ride a motorcycle, allowed me to have one when I was 15, and I used to ride it to school. And so, I think it's super important that as mums, as mothers, we teach our children, the future generation, that same thing, that independence, that ability to make decisions, because making decisions is probably one of the most important abilities in our lives.
Wow. And I was going to ask you as well, what are I suppose as a mother, what are one of the toughest decisions you've had to make, Karen?
One of the toughest decisions. Gosh, I didn't look at the questions beforehand, Ed.
No, I just made this question up just to because you're a tough lady, Karen Clark. So because you're so tough, I give you the hardest questions.
I think it was probably my marriage broke up when my children were quite young, and my twins. I had twin girls, and then another one. My twins were 7, and my youngest was 4. And about 18 months after we broke up, my husband came back and said, okay, well, let's give it another go. And I'd been through hell and back, obviously, because I didn't see it coming, and it had destroyed. I felt like my whole world had imploded. And the decision I made, which was really tough, was to say no. No, I'm going to make it on my own. I'm going to move forward and attempt to have happiness, without being married to you. And that was really tough because it involved my children as well, of course.
Wow. Yeah, you're a tough commander, Karen. That's why we love you.
Thank you. Did that answer your question?
Oh, amazing. Can we give a round of applause to amazing Karen? And I have saved our nuclear missile for last. We've got the amazing Eileen Avad with us, which I'm very, very excited about. And Eileen's an amazing lady, top coach, and she also is in a veteran family and does a lot of work for veterans. So I just want to say we thank you, Eileen, and absolutely appreciate you.
Oh, thank you very much, Michael. I'm actually cannot really claim credit to that. I'm just the hand behind the people who is doing the veteran work. I'm just rocking the cradle. That's all.
Yeah, well, Well, I strongly disagree with that because I think you do way more than you give yourself credit for. And Eileen, I just love to hear your reactions to what you've heard so far. What are you thinking?
Well, I really agree that motherhood just does not limit to you just having a child or children. Motherhood is anybody that can be of influence to other people, that bring other people to the fold, that really can nurture other people up. So whether you are little or whether you are a mother, to me, they have that innate maternal instinct to bring someone and raise them up. So motherhood, if we are very fortunate, we are blessed to be able to have children, yes, but for those people who adopt other children, for some people who chose not to have children, I'd also want to honor them because they, in them, has that maternal instinct. So to me, Mother's Day today, I want to honor those people. So
Wow.
that's what.
Wow, beautiful. And Elaine, I also want to ask you as well, your mother, what is a top lesson that your mother taught you, Arlene?
My mother had 12 biological children and she adopted a niece. So she had 13
So 12,
children.
as in 6 times 2, as in 1, 2, 12.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. So and then plus she adopted another one. So she got 13 children. And so what I've learned from mom is that there is always a way. We were very, very poor. We were very poor. There is always a way. Never give up. And if somebody try and stop you, you find a way around. Because I remember she telling us that her mother, somebody say that, how are you going to raise up all these children? You better give them, adopt them out or give them away. In those days, you know. And mom just snatched the baby and showed the grandma to the door. And I remember that you always be a stand for your own children. You always be there for them. Always find a way. Another good quality is be humble. Be humble is the word. But when I was a child, I took it to mean don't show off. So you probably have seen a lot of posts that I've been written of late. Don't show off. You know, there's the both side. There's the don't show off to the other quality. The virtue that she's trying to impart is be humble, be there to support other people, but also know your own strength and be and have your own independence so that nobody can come and take things away from you or children from you.
Wow, incredible, Eileen. Round of applause. And I couldn't help but ironically giggle when Eileen says be humble. I come from an Arabic background and we're the opposite. We're taught to, you know, make as much noise as possible and be the opposite of humble. So I think I need to learn some lessons from you, Eileen, which is, yeah. I think if I shut up more, my life will work better. Well, that's why we love you, Eileen.
Thank you, Ed. Now you continue being the way you are.
Thank you. And just to make the point, Eileen, I love the color of your top. We obviously rang each other before this. There we go. Same top. Men's version. Now, we love you, Eileen, and appreciate you. And we're going to bounce over to Master Coach Sonia in a minute to go through the next layer of questioning and discussion. And in this one, I'm actually going at the discussion point I really want to go into is, what did your mother teach you that is missing from the world today? Because obviously there is a gap between men and women. There is a need for women's empowerment. And I'm actually quite interested in what you all think on what did your mother teach you that is missing from the world today? That's sort of the angle that I'm going on. But before we hear from Master Coach Sonia, I just want to react to some of the comments. Again, I can't see all the users, but we've got a wonderful, we've got Catherine from Chicago, and she made a great point here on LinkedIn. Great seeing you. Currently raising a very defiant towards mum, 14-year-old daughter. Wow, there we go. That would be hard work. So amazing. And we've got Yolanda Holt talking about the importance of remain strong in faith and fortitude. I think it's just fantastic. And a LinkedIn user has said, Red works for you and Eileen Avad. Yeah, so red's my live streaming color. There you go. So Eileen's got great taste. So just want to say a massive thank you to all you amazing winners. And I want to bounce over to Master Coach Sonia now for the next layer of questioning. And again, the thinking is, what did your mother teach you that is missing from the world today?
I think what is missing from the world today is kindness. There's so much chaos and so much animosity. There's so much toxicity. People, like since we've had the internet, we have what they call trolls. You try to do something nice and then you get trolled. But, my mom taught me to kill other people with kindness. And you'll get a lot further in life when you do that, and rather than react and combat. And so that has got me a long ways. But in my coaching with my clients, I teach them to embrace their empowered self, because it has to come from in here. And what other people say and do around you, you gotta push them back. You gotta remember, it's your lane, your zone. And if you are kind to others and and help lift others up to be successful in life, it's gonna come back to you.
Wow. Well, and why do you think kindness is missing from our world, Master Coach? I know it's a huge question, but what's one of your top thinking as to why there's not enough kindness in our world?
Because there is the erosion of the not the laws, but the etiquette, how to treat others. Etiquette, where is that? It's like, when we were raised, we were taught basically as a child, be seen and not heard unless you're spoken to. But now it's like everybody has an opinion, but that opinion gets pushed to change laws or change customs or change society or change, we've got change identity, all these different things. And so it all starts with the heart and the mind, is treating another human being how you want to be treated. And that was probably one of the biggest things my mom taught me, is the golden rule. And that is what's missing. And why it's missing is because I think we've become too open.
Fascinating. Love it. Master Coach Sonia, round of applause. Brilliant. And thank you. We're going to hear from Loretta Remy in a moment. I'm just going to go through some of the reactions. The LinkedIn user is Amy Hammond. We love you, Amy Hammond from Orlando. So big wave to Amy Hammond. StreamYard gives me limited information at times. And a great comment from Sue Remark talking about being strong mums and strong daughters. We love it. So big thank you. And Loretta, what are some of your reactions and thoughts so far, legendary Loretta Remy?
So I was thinking, and my mother was of Italian descent. And so her biggest thing was kind of everybody was family, so she came from a very large family of 9 kids. And she just everybody was family. So the neighbors, whoever, and she liked to make them happy, and she made them happy by feeding them. So whenever you came to the house, there was always food. She always fed you. She always fed you a lot. And she just wanted to make you happy and everything. And I think it was kind of that servitude that I have the same thing, making people happy, wanting to make them, better and so forth and stuff. So yeah, feed them, make them happy.
Well, it's interesting. I, especially during my foster years, I have a lot of friends in the Hindu and Hare Krishna stream. And what they say in the Hare Krishnas and also Hinduism is that, they actually prepare food and they bless the food. And I suppose their Trojan horse thinking, which I kind of agree with, is that if we make the food and we bless it with our God and you eat the food, you're more likely going to convert to our God. And I think it works out true throughout history. So basically, whilst they're feeding you. And I was fed a lot when I was in the foster system by a lot of Hare Krishnas. And while you're eating away thinking you're a free meal, in a way, the nutrients are kind of converting you to their faith. So I kind of like it, Loretta. It makes sense what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know this is off topic, but I just have to ask this question. What is real Italian cooking like? I'm sure I eat all the mainstream stuff. Was the food just amazing? I imagine it would have been.
I used to always say that my mother did the poor Italian cooking. So we did a lot of spaghetti and meatballs and stuff. But my mother used to make a killer eggplant parmesan, which I die for now. But she always had food in the house, and she was always, you didn't even have to ask or say you were hungry. She was going to give you food anyway and stuff. So
definitely growing up in your house, you'd have to walk at least 10,000 steps a day. There you go.
And to be honest, for a while there, I was like totally like against pasta. Like I just had grown up eating it so much that I like hated it. And now I do enjoy a good dish of pasta every once in a while.
There you go. Oh, we love you, Loretta. Round of applause to you, amazing Loretta. I appreciate you. And just going to say we're going to bounce over to the amazing Simone Louise and get her thoughts. And just want to give a big shout out. A great comment from Yolanda Holt. My mother has passed down that one kindness deserves another. What positive energy you put in the universe comes back to you. I couldn't agree with you more and brilliantly, Yolanda. And hello to all our new users. Make sure you smash that like, share, and comment. So honored to have you with us. And Simone Louise, over to you as a mother of 3 boys. I don't know how you do it. I struggle enough with 2 children. And first question that comes to mind is actually, what are your reactions to what you've heard so far, Simone Louise?
Yeah, I think it's great, and I can relate to what everyone has said on multiple levels as well. Like with Sonia about kindness, we can always do with more kindness in the world. And to Loretta as well, having a European background, we celebrate with food. It's like how you share your love. So definitely have that as well. Yeah.
Wow. I was going to ask you, Simone, what did your mother teach you that's missing from the world today?
For me personally, I'm thinking it's around having patience. And I think that's really prominent in the world now, especially how we live in this hustle and bustle and we're just always in a rush to do everything. And for me, that springs to mind with my young children. It's easier for me just to take over and do everything. So just tie the laces, just pack the lunchbox because we've got to go. We've got to get onto that next thing. But without having the patience, I'm actually disempowering them to make those decisions and to grow and develop their own skills around that. So my mum is a very patient woman, and I'd say that that's what I feel is lacking in this world, that we're just such in a hurry that we're taking away that decision-making process for our children to just get the job done and move on to the next thing.
Wow, incredible. And Simone, a great question I'm sure a lot of us are thinking is, how on earth do you do it with 3 boys? How do you do it? And like, you not only stay slim and work out and lose weight and you win and you look after 3 boys, what are your secrets? Like, what do you put in your coffee every morning, Simone Louise?
I do drink coffee. That is probably one of my secrets. Not too much though. I would say it's just being organized and having a clear direction on what you need to do each day, whether that is as business activities, from what you do for your profession, into your home life as well. It's really important. And to work as a team. It's not my job to make my whole household run. But I do see it as being my role to facilitate that and to make sure that each of those components are shared between my husband, who, as I've been sharing, he's a police officer and a shift worker. So he needs someone to organize things, to be able to say, can you do that? And then we work as a team to do it. So, and it's empowering that through our children as well. Just because I'm the only female in my house doesn't mean that I'm the only one doing all the chores or doing all the housework. Absolutely not. And I think it's really important that my husband and I work as a team so our kids can see that and start to empower them to make those decisions and be independent as well.
And you raised another good point. I was actually going to go there, but you bet me to it. And I know we're on the same page here, but I will play a bit of devil's advocate. Unfortunately, today I know a lot of men. Obviously, Michael DeHaan is not one of them, or anyone listening to this live stream is not one of them. So if you're a man listening to this live stream, this comment is not aimed at you because I know you're awesome, but there's a lot of men out there that will refuse to do the household chores. And I've actually spoken to some of these people, and I'm shocked. I mean, I'm the guy who does the dishes. What are your views on men that don't do the household chores, letting everyone down? What's your advice to those people in those situations, Simone Louise?
I guess my opinion would be that it's just a lack of respect for the other people in your household. And it's a reflection on your own values that you expect other people to do that for you. So not everyone likes doing housework. None of us really like doing housework. But if that's the case, then get a house cleaner or invest in a housekeeper or something like that to help you, so it's not creating that barrier within your relationship. So no one's saying you have to love doing it, but find ways around it if you don't want to support in that way.
Oh my God, amazing. Sorry to laugh as well.
You just see that bag get thrown in the background.
I like it. I always say it's like you're living a zombie film. It's like I can imagine you're trying to do your live stream and you can see the zombie hands coming in trying to get you, Simone Louise.
I'm sure I tell people most of the time, I'm sure people don't pay attention to my content. They're just waiting to see what my crazy kids do in the background. It's very entertaining.
On a funny note, I probably shouldn't say this, but I had to. One of our wonderful friends came to one of our international networking Zooms, and her cat jumped on the table, and her cat turned around, and you know how cats always have their tail up and their butt showing, basically turned around and backed the cat's butt right on the webcam. And the lady was like, oh. So it's hilarious. It's like, it was easily the highlight of our Zoom. There you go. So
the joy of live streaming.
There you go. Yeah, there's no cutting it out here. There you go. At least that was good. Now, we love you, Simone. Round of applause to you, Simone Louise. We love you heaps. And we're going to bounce over to amazing Marianne Hines in just a moment. And I just want to react to some of the comments. We've got Susan Castelli. Motherhood is the most important calling Myers. Here. I couldn't agree with you more. And we've got John Tellson. John, great seeing you. John Tellson said, yes, more kindness and compassion for one another. I can agree with you, and I think that's a good point. And we got a bunch of people referring to the cat's butt comment I just made. But yeah, it was seriously, imagine a Zoom and 80% of your screen is cat's butt. That's what happened to our Zoom. It was hilarious. So there you go. We love you, Amy Hammond. You're amazing. So Marianne Hines, and please, Michael as well, feel free to jump in. Marianne, what are your thoughts and reactions?
A bit like Simone, I agree on so many different levels. I thought it was interesting what you were talking about, Sonia, with what sort of needs to change in the world. There's a lot of judgment. You talk about cancel culture and the trolling. And I think with that, one of the biggest lessons as being a reformed people pleaser myself was that whatever someone's dishing out at you is just a projection of their own internal world. And when I really took that to heart and understood it, I no longer took the I need to defend and go back and really started to just push back love with them, because it's just their own projections and their own need for their own healing, as you would know in the work that you're doing as well. But it was certainly something that changed the way that I interacted with the world. What else has been said? I also, that thing that you said about children are to be seen and not heard, it must have been a generational thing, because I got that message loud and clear, and I'm sure my parents got that message loud and clear as I've actually heard my dad say it recently even. So it was very much in their psyche. And I don't know about you, but it was one of the biggest lots of work that I had to do on myself, is that it's okay to be seen and it's okay to be heard, because I had that deep-seated conditioning around not being seen, being told I wasn't to be seen and I wasn't to be heard. So yeah, I resonated with that as well. But if I look at what my mum is one of these angels that walks the earth, and she just spreads unconditional love to everyone. She's a very gentle, caring, loving soul. And I think what she taught me, and my siblings as well, but I won't speak on their half, but unconditional love. but also the power of safety in a relationship, any relationship. And like mum always gives safety in a conversation. She's never judgmental. And when I'm with mum, I speak my whole truth, and I'm able just to explore things with her. And I think it's a really powerful gift that you can give anyone. And I think that is what the world needs more of. The world needs more of, like you were saying, Sonia, kindness, but lose the judgment. But when we're judging others, it's because we judge ourselves. So if you find yourself judging others, I would take a deep dive inside and just find out where that stems from, because your judgments are just a projection of your own internal world. And I think if we had a world where there was safety, love, compassion, kindness, no judgment, and just respect for other people. Like, it's okay, Ed or Arlene or Loretta, that you're different to me. You might hold different beliefs. I love and respect that you're like your own uniqueness. And if we just be in a world where we're not projecting our own perceptions and beliefs onto others and just accept what is in a loving, kind way, I think we'd see a lot of changes. Particularly what we're seeing going on in the world at the moment.
And I couldn't agree with you more. And projection, and I've seen a lot of. I mean, I'm again not here to talk about politics, but we've got an election on. I'm working a lot in the election right now, and it's funny, the people that accuse you of something are the ones who are always guilty of the crime. You see it so often in politics, especially, don't you?
Yes. Just hold a mirror up.
Yeah, exactly. On a funny one, again, I know this is off topic, but it's quite humorous. I'm an Arabic guy married to a wonderful Asian lady, Lassie, and I've fought my whole life for equal rights, and someone called me a racist. It's like, really? And ironically, they're the racist. They're one of the most racist people I know. So you get that whole funny logic. Yeah, crazy. And by the way, Michael Dehaan, you got to say something, Michael. I just can't have you sitting there and not joining in. What do you think, Michael? We love you.
No, thank you. And I suppose I'll share my learning from my mum. So she was a fiercely independent woman. And a lot of the responsibility she took in life and how she showed up was internal. And that's what I learned. So I think today, around the globe, we're all looking externally for people to save us or for people to change this world. And the work comes from your inside. Everyone can do their bit to change the world. And as I said, my mum went down her pathway, very respectful, very loving, but she was true to herself. And I think there's some great learnings there that we can sort of take away. And if all of us look internal and just do our little bit to change this world, that's where the difference will come from.
Yeah, I reckon that's really powerful because like a lot of people have said to us, what can I do to change what's happening in the world? And it's like, well, can you imagine if every human in this world just went inside and dealt with their own and worked through their own trauma, their own pain, and stopped projecting that out into the world? Can you imagine the world we'd live in? So I think that's a really powerful point.
Oh, wow.
He's a good husband.
Well said. I got to say, Marianne, all I can say is I'm sure everyone's thinking this. Marianne, you've got amazing taste in men. That's all we can say.
Oh, go the bald man.
There we go. There you go. Amazing. We're going to bounce over to amazing Eileen shortly and then wonderful Karen. And before we do that, I just want to react to some of the wonderful comments. We've got amazing Lassie's here who's watching. Give a big wave to Lassie now. Lassie, my wonderful wife, she's busy looking after our two crazy children that are ripping up the lounge room. I work in the kitchen. I like to say Elon Musk style. I just wish my kitchen was as good as Elon Musk's. I work in the kitchen. I look forward to the day. It's a beautiful stainless steel kitchen, but for now we've got this. And yeah, Lassie actually created this concept. So this Boss Lady Summit was created by Lassie. And so if you haven't connected with wonderful Lassie, please do. And Lassie made an amusing remark. Our children certainly get seen and heard. And I think it's my they've definitely got a lot of my Arabic DNA that makes them just want to break stuff and rip off the curtain. So there you go. I blame my genetics for that one. There you go. Centuries of funny Islam pumping through their veins. I love it. And just a few comments as well. We've got Linda Purcell-Taylor saying, great job. Susan Costelli talking about grit. And we've got wonderful Yolanda Holt. We love you, Yolanda, and keep it up. Now, and also we've got Catherine C with us. We love you, Catherine C. If you just come in, smash that like, share, and comment. If you missed part of the live stream, don't worry. We're going to finish in about 15 minutes and you can watch the recording. So I just want to say a big thank you to those here. And I want to bounce over to amazing and powerful Eileen. We love you, Eileen. And Eileen, tell us, what are you thinking, amazing Eileen?
Well, I love what I heard so far, Ed. I loved. It was probably for the first time I really get this expression, children are not heard, seen and not heard, something that I heard from my husband for a long time, but I didn't really understand that impact until now. There were so many people are saying that the children are seen, not heard. It was something probably that I done unconsciously over our dinner table with our 3 kids. You know, when you have children that are very strong and they bounce off each other, and then the quiet ones just sort of turn their head and, you know, with their big mouth open, turn from this head, turn from that head, and then the quiet one just get missed out. And one day I observed that and I say, hey, stop it, kids. And I try and facilitate a conversation that get everybody a 1-minute conversation on a topic, and they get very frustrated. They say, Mom, stop bossing us around at the dinner table. And they got quite frustrated. And I'm so glad I did that, because it allows the quiet one to be seen and heard. If it's not that, they would have gone away just listening to the big one and never build up their own confidence, their own self-esteem. And now my quiet one, including my husband, gets seen and heard, because the children, when they speak super fast. and then the older parent just, and this is when I facilitate a 1-minute round robin around the table. And now everybody has the chance to be seen and heard, and nurture that respect for other people. So my younger son, who was never speak at the dinner table, now is a proficient speaker. And I felt sometimes you have to be the bad mom at the table. And just like Simone Lewis was saying that, even if you're the only woman in the house, you got to get them in to do the thing. Sometimes you just be the facilitators. And the children's going to appreciate you. The household's going to appreciate you. So I just love what I heard so far. And I love what Marianne was saying, that if each one of us just work on our inner trauma, and rather than having expectations about saving the world, if we work on an inner trauma, rather than project all our pain and suffering and expectation onto the world will really become a better place. And I thought, how wonderful is that? How right? Is that really so true? So it's like, well, you said that's a dinner table conversation.
Oh.
I love it. Thank you.
Brilliant. We love you, amazing Eileen. Well said. And just let you know as well, wonderful Karen Clark is having some internet trouble. I don't blame her. I had huge internet trouble the other week. So us in Australia, whilst we're technologically savvy people, I can't say that about our phone companies. So poor Karen, we'll try and get Karen back. She's having a few connection difficulties. So yeah, Karen, keep trying. We absolutely love you, Karen. We will try and get it back, because Karen Clark's absolutely amazing. So I'm going to completely blame our phone companies for that one.
Ed, if I could just very quickly just share something from the things that I've learned from my mom, is generosity. For us who are very, very poor, mom would always say that it is not what you have, it's what you could give. And even very simple things is like, we live in a village where there is no street light, very, very dark. And mom would say, let's leave the light on for other people. So as they're walking through the village, they could have the light. And I think that to me have really make me think that if you can give a little bit to somebody, even if you can just create a space for somebody to step in. It's not necessarily all money, but if you can give money to other people, because money can really make a difference to the world. But if you can just allow somebody just to step in and help them to become a better person, and we do that more for other people, the world will become a better place. So it's about the quiet generosity. It's something that I learned from my mom. So I thought I'd just share that.
And he spun me out like you got no street lights. It must have been, and just for saying, and I know this. Where's your ethnicity? Where are you from originally, Eileen?
From Singapore, and these were going back something like about 50, 60 years. So so it's like people cannot imagine Singapore to be like that. But if they go back to maybe Vietnam or Cambodia, they have that feel, then they would know what's like to be living in very, very third world environment. That's what that is.
Oh God, there you go, Eileen. It's just incredible. It's funny because when you say Singapore, I just think like basically Asian Dubai, but I guess you're talking from a different time and a different world. Amazing.
That's right. Yeah. Thanks, Ed.
We love you. Round of applause to you, Eileen, and really appreciate it. Now we're going to try and grab Karen now. Now, not Karen's fault. Karen, it looks like the telecommunication companies have declared war on Karen. So we're going to try and get Karen. And but if she drops out, we're definitely going to blame the phone company. So Karen, damn it, we just lost Karen. So she comes in and out. So we'll try and get Karen a bit later. But the phone companies certainly hate Karen today, that's for sure. So poor Karen. But we'll try and get you back, Karen, because you absolutely love her. And just a few reactions as well. We've got Linda Purcell-Taylor, who's been sharing our posts and doing such an amazing job. We love you, Linda Purcell-Taylor. Catherine C, we love you, Catherine C. We've got Maureen Wixon, who says a big hello. We love you. Long time no see, Maureen. Hope you're well. We've got St. Delim saying beautiful faces can be seen in this world for parents. There we go. Thank you for saying we have beautiful faces. We've got Ibrahim Akubar Sambo saying great job, and we've got a lot of great people here. So keep the comments coming. Please smash that like, hit that comment and share. And we've got Karen back. I'm just going to try and get Karen back quickly until the telcos kick her off. Karen, can you hear us all right? I know you're having poor internet trouble. Ah, damn it. There we go. Every time I try and grab Karen, it's sort of like, it's like I've just got the diamond, then it gets yanked away from me. So there we go. We love you, Karen. We'll try and get you back later on. So what we're going to do is when we can get Karen back, we'll try and bounce her in, but we're going to move into the closing thoughts now. So what the closing thoughts is, it's basically an opportunity for all of our wonderful panelists. They can react to what they've heard, they can talk about what they're thinking, or even give us a thought to really help women's empowerment across the world. I just want to say again a big thank you to everyone watching, and also a big thank you to men. It can be difficult being a man. For example, Michael Dahan and I were having this conversation. Michael Dahan and I were into women's empowerment before it was popular, and everyone used to make fun of us. Now it's kind of the in thing for men. But I do say this. I do say a big thank you to all the men who do get behind women's empowerment, because it's not an easy thing. And of course, to all you ladies, us men need to do more, and I really believe that. So let's bounce over to closing thoughts. And again, we'll try and get Karen back, but again, the phone companies have declared war on Karen. So let's bounce over to amazing and wonderful Master Coach Sonia. What are your thoughts, Master Coach Sonia? Closing thoughts and reactions.
I think this has been an awesome topic. Thank you so much. But I would like to say also that, my mom, I grew up with a brother who's deaf. And when in society, when you're around others who may have disabilities or, handicaps, we have to really be thankful for what we have every single day. And so that was one of the things that my mom taught me is, to be thankful that I could hear, because my brother couldn't. So I became my brother's ears. But when I was like third grade, I went blind for a short time. So my mom had a blind child and a deaf child. And so after I got my eyesight back, I really owned what my mom said is, really be thankful for what we have, and you have the power within you to be all you can in life. And so, you know, if you keep all those other naysayers away, you know, that's just could be turned into fuel to inspire you to, you know, press on and move forward and you know, cross that finish line and get that achievement or that award. And my mom, she was my cheerleader, you know. She still is. When I was in high school, I was in track and field. I threw shot put and discus, and my mom never missed an event. She was always there for me. And when I was a junior in high school, I broke the record several times, and I almost fell out of the ring. When you throw shot put and discus, you have to stay in this circle. If you fall out, you're scratched. And I threw the discus, and it just was going, and I thought, oh, this might be one of my best throws ever. And it's 105 feet 9 inches. And my mom, I just made that connection, that look, and it's like, you got this. And so, you know, our moms are our biggest cheerleader, and I think that's one of the things I did for my kids. And so, you know, to all the moms out there, you know, continue being that cheerleader to your kids and to your extended family. And I just want to mention, I'm a fur baby mom. I love my fur baby, and my fur baby helped me to love again, because, you know, you can get so jaded in this world because you get so hurt and everything that happens, and our fur babies are our hearts, you know. And so I just want to say that I think everybody brought some really great perspectives to this talk today, and I'm thankful to be here. So thank you, everybody.
Oh, amazing, Aurora. Can we give it up for Master Coach Sonia? Amazing. And also to Sonia's last name is Bordeaux, so please connect with Master Coach Sonia, Sonia Bordeaux. Find her on LinkedIn, and we love you. And just to those as well, we're streaming Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Again, whilst I'm streaming to the other platforms, the party is over on LinkedIn. So if you're watching this not on LinkedIn, next time make sure you join us on LinkedIn. That's LinkedIn is the platform for women's empowerment. There you go. Good plug for LinkedIn. There we go. Which is really good. Now we've got Karen back. I know the telecommunication companies really hate us right now. Maybe they don't like women's empowerment. Ooh. So let's try Karen again. Let's hopefully the telecommunication companies aren't going to try and censor Karen again. Karen, have we got you? It's like I just got her, then I lose her. It's killing me. It's killing me because Karen's amazing. There we go. So everyone, please connect with Karen Clark. You know, obviously her communications provider does not support women's empowerment. That's all I can say. Let's bounce over to amazing Loretta Remy. Loretta Remy, you are incredible. Please, love to hear your closing thoughts or anything you'd love to say.
So enjoyed listening to everybody's thoughts about all of this. I think my biggest takeaway is that I regret the moments that I said I was too busy to call my mom, or it just didn't fit into my schedule and stuff like that, because once she's gone, like she's been, then you just miss her more and everything. And just to hear her voice or have some of that great eggplant or something like that, it just makes me realize that the moments we have with people, and not just our mothers, but everybody around us, are very precious, and we don't want to waste them and then regret it later.
Yeah. Wow. It's hard hitting. I can relate. You know, I was without my mum for quite a few years, and when we reunited, I really valued it. So, Loretta, I got to say, love your rawness. And can I ask you a follow-up question on that one, Loretta?
Sure.
Why? I've been guilty of this too. Why do we get too busy to call our mums? Where does that come from? Because I've made that mistake and I hate it. Why do we fall for such a trap, Loretta? I certainly have.
I think sometimes it's twofold. I think sometimes, you know, your mother brings out things from you that sometimes you don't want to admit or whatever. So whether it's, you know, maybe not getting enough sleep or not feeling well or something like that, they'll hear it in your voice like immediately or something, and then they'll ride you about, you got to take time off, you got to do whatever. The other thing is, I don't think you realize that there's a limited amount of time that you're going to have with them. It's kind of like you think they'll be around forever and everything. And those two things can definitely make us, very easily put it off. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it, next day, whatever. And then then you can't.
Yeah. Loretta, you've inspired me to call my mum right after this live stream. So there you go. Thank you, Loretta. There you go. Loretta, love it, Ross. Can we give it up for Loretta Remy from Florida? Again, if you haven't already, please connect with Loretta over on LinkedIn. So Loretta, we appreciate you. Amazing. And oh my God, Simone Louise, the amazing lady with 3 boys, a police husband, and crazy stuff going on that just keeps winning. Simone Louise, what are your thoughts and reactions? And I'd love to hear it.
I really love what Eileen was saying just about empowering the smaller voices as well, because it does feel like sometimes the loudest voice wins. And I think it's really important to ensure that we all have an equal voice and we all have a valid opinion, and to be able to express and share that, it makes a difference. And just sort of molding that in with what Michael was saying of just being true to yourself, which is so important. And those small acts of generosity, like what Eileen said, just molding that in together, because it is such a feel-good moment when you do those small acts of generosity, and that really empowers you as a person and can help you work through those things that you have in your past, or things that will just make you feel good for the day. And it could be something just as small as, like Eileen said, leaving a light on, or helping someone read a label in a supermarket, or get something high off a shelf. It doesn't have to be huge things. A lot of people think when I have to help someone, it has to be through financial sort of ways, but it's the small acts of kindness that can make such a big difference.
Oh, incredible. And Simone, just asking a follow-up question as well, because I know you're a master at this. To those mothers out there that are feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed, and at times are having trouble keeping it together, what do you say to those amazing mothers, Simone, being a pro at this yourself?
I think everyone should just give themselves a massive pat on the back, because we all deserve to be celebrated. It is not easy, and it is different for everyone. And we should definitely not be comparing ourselves as women. It does take a lot to remove that judgment and feel that you are enough. And we are all enough in our very own right. And that is what we need to keep reminding ourselves of. It's not a competition. It's not about being better than someone else. It's about being true to yourself and always doing your personal best.
Oh my God, Simone, we absolutely love you. Can we give it up for Simone Louise? And there you go. Big thank you for being a police family as well. That's certainly not easy, Simone. Imagine what happens. So we absolutely love you, Simone. We're going to try and get back Karen in a moment. I know this is probably not going to go that well, because her telecommunications provider stands against women's empowerment. We condemn them on every level. Before I do that, I'm going to go through. Karen's laughing her head off. I can see her. Just so you know, I can see Karen in the back room, but then it keeps dropping out. So I can sort of see Karen and lose her. But there we go. A few great reactions. We've got Susan Castelli. Peace starts in the home. We need to strive for this in order to spread to others in the world. Hear, Susan Castelli. We've got Nuri Esperanza Caspadas or Dennis says, hello, good seeing you, Nuri. It's always a pleasure. And we've got Sura Mark who says, Loretta, mum's with you forever, even if she isn't here in body. Hear. Thinking is connecting. Wherever she is, she does hear you. You'll feel her in your thoughts and answering you with warmth especially. My mum's been gone for many decades, but I still feel her. Sue, you're an amazing lady. That's why I love you, Sue. And we've got Camilla Wolensek. Great conversation. Thank you. We love you, Camilla. Camilla's an amazing lady, Polish lady from Sydney. There you go. We love you, Camilla, which is just fantastic. And again, we're going to finish up shortly, so please like, share, and comment now. And big shout out to Yolanda Holt. Now, I'm going to try and get back Karen again. I just hope her telecommunications provider just stops being misogynistic for the moment. There we go. So let's try again. So can we all cross our fingers and prayers? Let's pray to the God of telecommunications. Karen, do we have you for a second before we lose you?
We do. Oh my gosh. I've been in and out, as you know, Ed, the whole time, and I've heard little bits of what each person has said. But so I've gone onto my mobile network. I've rebooted the router on our main NBN. Anyway, for some reason now it's great. So something's worked. So
Yeah,
what
and
an
Karen,
amazing morning! Yeah.
please just give us a monologue. Let's get you before your misogynistic telecommunications provider kicks you off.
Well, it's what can I say? Everyone said so many amazing, important points about motherhood, about mothers, about women. And I also want to remind us we don't forget about the men, or I want to make the point that we don't forget about the men. But we're so different, and we're so different. Like each party, each part of the partnership or whatever it is so important, and men do an amazing job whatever it is, whether they're being the breadwinners, whether they're the supporters, whether they're a stay-at-home dad, which a lot of men are doing now too. There are differences, obviously, and one of the things I want to say that my mum taught me was, apart from values, my mum was very strong in the honesty and integrity and being kind to people, and was always, for example, Christmas was always, if there was anybody who didn't have anywhere to go, they'd be invited to our house.
Oh,
so it was like, you'll never be alone, and come for a meal whenever you can. Our home was like, Mum welcomed us and our respective boyfriends and all of those things to come for a meal every Sunday or whatever it was after we left home. It was that very warm, nurturing kind of background. And Mum also taught us that girls can do anything. So, my mum taught us all to drive, not my dad, and she was an amazing driver. And in fact, Dad taught her when he met her. So she didn't know how to drive before she met my dad. And so the other thing I want to say, which is a bit funny, is that my mum taught me that not to be scared to go to the dentist, that it wasn't a major thing. It didn't hurt. Because of her attitude about it, I've never been afraid of going to the dentist. I've never felt really, really bad pain. And it's interesting that it's one of those beliefs, because so many people grow up with that belief, I hate the dentist. And because of the way my mother presented it to us, we never had that fear of the dentist. So isn't that interesting?
Wow, just powerful, Karen. We absolutely love you. And I just want to say, can we get your closing thought as well while we've got you?
I would say, I think, I can't even remember who it was who was speaking last. If we do still have our mums around, like you, Ed, I'm going to call my mum straight afterwards, because we do get busy. We do forget. My mum's got into texting all the time. Instead of talking on the phone, she texts about everything. And so I'm like, well, I obviously have to be the one who picks up the phone and calls, right? So don't let the things that maybe would niggle at you about your mum to stop you from being that whole person. Because remember that every mother, this is one thing I learned years ago, every mother does the very best she can, given the situations and circumstances and level of awareness that she has. So every mother has put that child first and does the very, very best she can. So don't let anything annoy you about your mum. Don't let anything stop you from loving her wholeheartedly, 100%, because she's your mum.
There you go. Oh my God, just incredible, Karen. We love you. Round of applause to you, Karen. That's very good. My wonderful. When it comes to politics, I'm more on the right wing. My mother's a complete lefty, so imagine our funny conversations. There you go. Yeah. My mother loved Hillary Clinton, so there you go. It's really good times, huh? There you go. We love you, Karen.
But don't let that stop you from calling her Ed.
No. My mother, when Hillary Clinton lost to the Orange Man, she would not talk to me for weeks. That was hilarious. So there you go. We miss Hillary.
Sorry, wonderful to see all you beautiful women and hear and men Michael, isn't it?
Yes.
And hear all your sharing comments and things. And I'm so sorry I've been in and out the whole time. It's really stable now, isn't that crazy?
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. But I'm just so glad we got you at the end, Karen Clark. I was even thinking of maybe dressing up as you and going, "Oh, it's Karen Clark here, and I want to say that women are awesome and motherhood's great." But I thought, thank God you came back to prevent that. So there you go. Round of applause to Karen. It's Karen Clark, by the way. So please connect with Karen on LinkedIn. Karen, we absolutely love you.
Karen Lynn Clark. They won't find me unless they put the Lynn in. Lynne.
Gotcha. We love you, Karen, and just so good we had your back. There we go.
Thank you, Ed.
Beautiful. We're going to hear from amazing Marianne in just a moment, and then Eileen. And before we do that, I just want to go through some of the reactions. Yolanda Holt is absolutely talking about the dentist perception story, which is amazing. And just want to give a big, we've got Jada T with us. Jada T, good seeing you. Jada T is one of our wonderful fans. We love you, Jada T. And let's hear from wonderful Marianne Hines and also Michael. And then we'll bounce over to Eileen. What do you think, Marianne Hines?
I think you're all fabulous, Karen. So good to have you with us. I did see your little head popping in and out throughout the whole system. So many things that I would want to say. I think some of the things that really sort of stood out to me and I think are good to remind. Yes, today is Mother's Day in Australia anyway. And we are celebrating women today and those that influence our younger generations. However, as many of you have said, men also play a really important role in that. And I think when we're looking at equality and equity, that actually benefits everyone. So when women are empowered, when minority groups are empowered to speak their truths and use their voice, everybody in the world benefits. So that's why it's really important that we're thriving towards a more equal, equitable world. And I appreciate, my husband, Ed, all of the men out there that stand for the greatness of women and for all of the other, minority groups and that are actually out there speaking their truth and pushing for a fairer, more kinder world where everyone actually gets to thrive and become the best versions of themselves. Karen, you always speak so eloquently. I love listening to you. So I think I'm not going to reiterate everything that you said, but the one thing that does really stand out for me as well, like when you're talking about, calling your mum, as many of you also mentioned, I've been impacted by a sudden death with my first husband. So I know, and I learnt the hard way about the importance of putting relationships first, because you never do know when those relationships will leave the physical being and whatever else you believe in of what they do when they pass over. So it is really important that we're really conscious about not getting caught up in the day-to-day things that really, in reality, cleaning the dishes or doing the laundry or, driving to work, whatever it is, you can call your mum in the car, or you can call your dad in the car, or call your loved ones in the car. There are moments that you can take just to say, hey, I'm going for a walk and I'm going to call my mum. And I think it's really important that we remember to put the importance of those relationships, particularly when you still have them with us. So I'm very grateful for my mother and for my grandmother and for all the women that have come before me, that have given me the platform that I have today to use my voice to create positive change for all of the future generations that are coming behind us as well. So I celebrate you all.
Amazing, Marianne. Round of applause to Marianne and Mr. Marianne Hines. What do you think, Mr. Marianne Hines?
I like that. It's got a ring to it.
I think it's a celebration for all women, as Marianne said. It's, I suppose, a bit of an emotional day for me because I don't have my mum with me, but she'll be in my thoughts. But today I'll have such an awareness and a consciousness around women. I do that in my life anyway, but today just specifically, and I'm going to show up that way. So we're going to walk down the street and have a coffee and just to be kind and connect with all women and just smile. Might even buy a coffee. Just put yourself out there and just honor the day, celebrate the day for all women. And it's what we should do a lot more.
Yeah. I love what you said, Arlene, about what your mum would do, like those little acts of generosity, like put the light on so other people can see. Like no one, probably even thinks about that sort of stuff, but somebody would have walked by and go, oh, that person's like got their light on all night, every night. I love that. And we could all just do those little one action. If we all commit, everyone on this call today, commit to one act of kindness, whether it be a smile or any of these things that have been talked about today.
Oh, here. Well said. Round of applause and big thank you to Marianne Hines and Mr. Marianne Hines. I like that. It does a good ringtone. There we go. Michael DeHaan / Mr. Marianne Hines. There we go. And can I just do a quick vote as well? Who thinks that Michael should be part of the Boss Lady Summit ongoing? I certainly do. I think we've got to have Michael in it. So there you go. I think you've been roped in now. You now have to be part of it, Michael. We just can't do it without you. There you go. Eileen, please, Eileen, tell us what you're thinking, reactions, closing thoughts, anything you like. Wonderful, Eileen.
This is just so wonderful. Just such an array of thoughts and about empowerment, both for the men, the women's. In particular, I really want to add on for those single moms and the single dads, because even as parents, we have both partners. What is it like when they have to be out there trying to bring your kids out on their own? And some of them got 2 or 3 children. It is extremely, extremely hard. My hat off to those parents, because as a mom, when the dad comes home, you can sort of hand over those duties to the mom, to the dad, and then you get a break. But if you're a single parent, it is extremely difficult. You don't have breaks. You're 24/7. And my heart goes out to those people. And so I want to honor them as well, especially even if you're a single dad, today is even a very special day for you as well. And also for new moms as well. My daughter is a new mom, six months old mom, and at times she wants to play the single lady, and at times she thinks that I'm not good enough as a new mom. I should be doing more like my mom. So they're comparing themselves. So it's very, very difficult. So until they really can switch over, that you do the best you could. Like Karen said, you do the best you could as a mom, and you shouldn't compare yourself. So to the new moms out there, every day is learning. Don't judge yourself. I just want to say it is not easy. You had all that freedom before, and now you're bringing a new baby into this world. It's extremely hard. Pat your back on the head and say, you are amazing. That even if you're a new mom or single dad, today I want to celebrate all of you. And Ed and Lassie, thank you for putting on this beautiful platform for us to share our voice. So thank you.
Here. Round of applause. We love you, Eileen. And Eileen's last name is Avard, so A-Vard. So make sure you connect with Eileen. Avard, Eileen, I appreciate you. Now, we're going to finish up in a moment, but just before we do, I just want to give a final opportunity for any of our panelists to say anything. If there's anything that you'd love to say, if there's nothing you want to say, it's fine. Of course, please, Simone. And is that your young police sergeant, is it?
I just want to take a quick moment to acknowledge everyone who is trying to become a mother and hasn't, because this can be an extremely difficult time for them. And I know this personally with a very close friend who has just lost a child at 26 weeks. So it can be a really difficult day for those who want to be a mum and can't be, and just to really believe that you can still have that maternal role to those people around you. You can influence them without being that biological mother. So to all those feeling a little bit disheartened today, I'm thinking of you.
Oh, here. Simone Louise, amazing. Anything else from any of our panelists? Please, anything you'd like to say? Now's the time to say it. Please, Master Coach Sonia.
I would just like to say, I know my mom's going to be watching this later, is Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you.
Oh, here. We love you, Master Coach Sonia. Here. Anyone else? Anyone else want to say anything? Karen Clark. Hit that unmute key. StreamYard.
There. Oh, I just want to say to all of you, go out and have a wonderful day. Remember who you are. Remember how amazing you all are, and everyone listening, and just celebrate your uniqueness, your love, and your caring for everyone. Because
My God, here. I love you. Well, without further ado, let's leave it there, friends. We've gone over time for good reason. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Call your mums right now. If your mums aren't with you, just give them a prayer in spirit. So thank you, everyone. Like, share, and comment, and see you all next time. Thank you all.